Okay, this will be an interesting one. It looks a bit bland colour-wise, so I'm going to have to do something to make it look interesting somehow. A few little tricks, special effects from this silly piece of shit that Konica Minolta designed and built. We're just going to leave it at 100. I think that'll be good enough. And we're just going to, what are we going to do with this silly thing? We're going to make it dark. We're going to leave it on that. We're doing a positive image. Oh, fuck, I didn't want that stupid user interface. I know Konica Minolta can't do anything bloody right. Anyway, we're using cyan as our background colour. Going to make this one really contrasty. I'm going to lighten this one up. See if we can make this look good. Wondering if we're just going to leave it like that. Let's see how we go with it. Alright, let's see what it is. It is a Snooty magazine. This is a different one from the other ones I normally do. Mosman Daily and North Shore Times. This one's called North Shore Living. And this is our front cover. We're going to make this woman look somewhat funny using the power of this fuck-ass capitalist device called a photocopier. Anyway, we all know what a fucking photocopier is, guys, girls. I think most of us do. Let's see how we go. But most people don't know what they're capable of. That's the less common knowledge about such a device. We know they exist, we know what they're basically for, but we don't normally use them like this. This looks really cool. I think this is going to be the centre of this job. And we're going to make this look really nice. Stabilising image. Ready to scan. Okay, Konica Minolta. So we're going to take this, consign it to the recycle pile. We can just see a little bit of cyan appear on the white areas of this page. Let's see if we can enhance this even further and turn it into a mirror image. Make it look interesting. I thought I lost my settings for a moment, but no, I haven't. Good. So let's see what we can do with this silly piece of fucking shit. Right, I'm wondering what we're going to do. Go here, and we're going to maybe just lighten it up just a little bit. We're going to contrast is up full blast. Wondering how this is going to look. Okay, out it comes. Or no, it hasn't come yet. Not there yet, folks. Let's see how this looks. If it's improved it. Whoa, she looks hot. Very hot. I'm wondering if we can still improve on that. It looks too hot. The lips are just too well blended with the rest of the face. We've got to do some more work on this. So what are we going to do to this to make it look better? Right, we're just going to go here, and maybe the contrast could be made a little bit less, and maybe we could throw in some blue. I think blue's going to cool it down, and we're not going to touch the hue, we're just going to touch the blue and see what we do. Pardon the rhyme. So let's see how this looks. Let's see how this has gone. She looks hotter. I think the blue has actually made her look hotter. Looks shit house. Maybe you have to lighten the density off. It's funny how doing the blue does this. It's like, well, I think the RGB function, this function works like a similar filter, but we've used that, but that's gone back to the middle, so it's too dark anyway. So we have to lighten this one right off. And just wondering if we're gonna take the blue and maybe we're gonna leave it. and maybe we'll see how that goes with the extra lightness. The contrast would have disappeared with the brightness control. So let's see if we've got a brighter looking image. She still looks pretty dark and blended in. Wondering what else we can do. Maybe we can make a negative image of this. This might work better as a negative. So let's see how we go making it into a negative image. So we're just going to switch him over here. I'm going to leave that one out. We're just going to switch that to negative. And background colour, what are we going to add for this? We're going to throw in red, and we're just taking ourselves off onto a different pathway now, so this will be a little bit different. Wondering if we're gonna just make it a little darker. We're going to make this a slightly faded out kind of mirror image. We're going to warm up the hue. We're doing something different for a change. Also, we're going to need a bit of enlargement so we don't get borders on the bottom of this. I think the bottom part is where we're going to make the mirror image join together. So we're just going to show you this. This is how we're doing it. So we'll just put that over there and see if we can make this look better as a negative image. So we're just going to go here and just punch in 104 by 104 and see how that turns out. We'll see how we make this look. It's not an easy one. I think maybe we should have made the original, used the original for the negative positive, but we don't always do it that way. Yeah, that looks interesting. We're going to have to make this a secondary master copy, I think, because this red is looking wishy-washy. Wondering if we're going to do anything more with it. This is a tricky one. We seem to be making a bit of a meal out of this one, and I'm thinking we might. What are we going to do with this silly thing? What are we going to do to make this look a whole lot nicer? So we're going to maybe cool the hue down rather than warm it up. And we're going to leave the blue in play. We're going to leave the red. So let's see how we go. Let's just start that again. See if we make a better result. See if changing the hue has improved things. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, she looks more blue, but her lips still look a bit blended with the rest of the image. Wondering how we're going to make this look better. I think, how are we going to make this look better? I just feel like I'm at a loss here, folks. So I'm in a bit of a loss. So what are we going to do? I just feel like we're not getting anywhere with this image. I'm thinking we're just going to go to the red. We're going to use red instead of blue. And we're just going to see if that changes things. I don't want to have this demo fail because I've just invested a lot of time in it anyway. I do think I made a fuck up at the beginning, or maybe we'll just see how we go. Well, that looks a lot better actually. That looks better defined. You can see more of the colour. So we're going to use that as our, I think it'll be our secondary master copy. So we're just going to pull up the dock feeder and remove. Her lips weren't really well defined against the rest of her anyway, so that's just basically what we started with. So now we're just going to use this as our secondary master copy. So we're going to put that down, and we're going to basically make this one into a positive image of that. So we're just going to maybe take off the enlargement now. I should have probably applied it after this. So now we're just going to switch that off and maybe put that to standard. We're going to, of course, remove the red, and we're just going to do some little tweaky bits here and there to make this look better. We're just going to leave the settings as is and see what happens. Hopefully the red in the hair will come up a treat. The background colour will look nice and rich and contrast nicely against the facial features. So let's see how it looks. Actually, it looks quite nice. I quite like that result. You can see the features are quite well defined, even though we started off with a fairly ordinary sort of an image. So we're going to make this into our mirrored image. Unfortunately, we've got borders. I'm wondering if we're going to just leave it like that, because the borders are on the outside and this is where the action is. So we're just going to... So I'm wondering if we're going to just stick with this. I don't like those ugly borders, but maybe there could be a little bit of... They could be considered a imperfection that could add character to the demo. So some people are going to probably think that those outside borders are going to add a certain character to the demo instead of it being a little bit too polished, because normally my images I try to make them really polished as much as I can with such a crude imaging device. This is not Photoshop or InDesign, folks. This is not computerized, except for the features on the machine. This is not a computer, this is a photocopier. Although photocopiers, like computers, do have hard drives, and at the end of your photocopier use, once your photocopier has bit the dust, or if you don't want it anymore, you want to trade up to a new one, well, you've got to make sure your hard drive on this photocopier is clean. You make sure none of you, because everything you photocopy or scan, print, fax, ends up on the hard drive, or some of it can. I don't know how much of it does, but it ends up on the hard drive. So therefore people can, with illegal but free software, can come and download that off the internet and purge the drive on your photocopier, and they'll know what you've photocopied and what you've printed and shit like that. And you could end up with a privacy breach. Extremely dangerous. Could be a good haven for identity thieves. So that wouldn't be very good. So if your photocopier is scanning and copying heaps of sensitive information, well, yeah, it's not going to be good. So let's see how that looks. That looks really nice. I think it was worth this demo being somewhat prolongated. I think now we can call this quits.